Hey there, modern math teacher. How can you help your students leave your class feeling confident, even if they struggled all year? Today, you guys, we're going to talk all about how to build a math mindset and finish strong. Hey there, guys. I'm Kristen Moore. Welcome back to the Modern Math Teacher Podcast. And we are rolling into the final stretch of the school year. And if you are anything like me, this is your moment when your brain starts making lists of everything that still needs to get done. And your students, well, they've already got summer break on their mind, right? So today's episode is a little different because while, yes, the math matters, what I want to focus on today is the mindset. And did you know that math mindset and growth mindset are two of the most Googled things in the month of May? And I can't tell you how much I love that. Mindset is something that has always been really important to me, and helping to build that growth mindset, that math mindset, this positive mindset in our classrooms. In fact, if you are on YouTube, you can see I've got all these books. I've got the original mindset from Carol Dweck. I have Mindsets in the Classroom from Mary Kay Ricci, which again was phenomenal. The Growth Mindset Coach, which was fantastic for helping coach your students in growing a math mindset, and of course, mathematical mindsets. And like you can hear it. That's how many sticky notes are in here. It's fantastic. Mathematical mindsets from Joe Bowler with a forward by Carol Dweck. So if mindset is something that you want to focus in on this summer, these are four of my absolutely most recommended books on that. I'm going to link them in the show notes for you. Okay. Um, so back to mindsets and wrapping up the end of the year. You guys, how your students feel about the math when they walk out of your classroom this year is really going to stick with them and set the tone for next school year. And we have the chance right now to send them off feeling stronger, more capable, and more confident, even if it's been a tough load for them. Today, we're going to talk about some simple, meaningful activities to help build math mindset in the last few weeks of school, how to weave growth mindset into your review routines, because why work harder? Let's work smarter, right? A few language shifts that can make a huge difference for your students. And yes, a little reminder that your mindset matters too. You ready? Let's do this. So, first up, why math mindset matters now. I get it, you guys. You've taught the content, you've reviewed your standards, the tests are done, or well, like almost done, right? And it's tempting to just kind of coast to the finish line. But here's something that I've learned in my 10 plus years in the classroom: the messages our students internalize at the end of the year have a huge impact on how they show up next year, especially in math. If they leave your math classroom thinking, I'm just not good at math, that belief can follow them for years. But if they leave thinking, I know math is hard sometimes, but I can figure it out, I can do hard things, that, my friend, is gold. So, the best part, you do not need a full curriculum to make this shift. A few small moves can make a really big difference. And again, we're all about working smarter, not harder here. So let's start with a few simple reflection activities that are easy math mindset oriented. You can drop these into your last few weeks of school. Number one, a math growth reflection. Ask students to write or discuss one thing I can do now that I couldn't do at the start of the year, and celebrate them. Celebrate those wins, whatever that win is, however big or small, celebrate that success. Okay. One challenge I overcame this year. Celebrate it. What was hard? What was the struggle? What did they do to overcome it? Highlight that. Highlight the perseverance, what they did. And one way I've grown as a problem solver, maybe you get cute little plants, right? Okay, that doesn't have to be just for elementary school, you guys. Give them a cute little plant that says, I've grown, and then they have to write how they've grown. I love that idea. That's so fun. Okay, maybe you can't buy all of your students' plants, whatever. But you know what I mean? It's fun. You can even turn these into, like posters or a classroom brag wall for the last week. It'll just be kind of fun. Okay. Number two, letters to future students. I know lots of teachers have done this in the past, and I kind of love this one. Okay. Have your students write advice to next year's class. Things like what helped them succeed in your classroom, their best tip for understanding tough topics, whatever the toughest topic is that you teach, have them write a tip on it. That would be so helpful to get tips from students in the past. And also maybe highlight why it's okay to make mistakes. Okay? That's going to be a big one for our students too. It's a really beautiful way to help students reinforce their own growth, and it sets your next group of students up for a positive start. Win, win all the way around. Another favorite is what I used to think but now I know. And that's great for surfacing those misconceptions and really celebrating the progress that your students have made in the classroom. So, something like this: I used to think slope was like just a number, but now I know it tells a whole story about how a graph moves. Quick, easy, super powerful. You guys could even have them do these as little videos if they don't want to write it out. Whatever you want to do, let them be creative, have some fun with it. They're reflecting, they're building their mindset, they're setting the mindset for your future students. Win, win, win everywhere you see. Okay. Now, let's talk about ways to blend mindset into your review routines that you're already going to establish. And I can't remember, I'm recording these maybe out of order, if we've talked about how to review for the end of the year or not, but I'll make sure to link that in there somewhere. Okay. If you are doing end of the year task card reviews, add in a reflection piece. Okay, so if you're doing stations or task cards to review, right? Like that's a best practice. Gets them up, gets them moving. At the station, you could have a reflection, or after the stations, you could. What station challenged you the most, and how did you push through it? And what's one thing you understand now that you didn't understand at the start of the week? So it just builds in the activities. Like, what's one thing I don't understand? How do I understand it now? Okay. Also, think about warm ups and exit tickets. Add in a mindset check. One thing that felt tricky today, but I stuck with it, was this. Today, I noticed myself improving at this. Give them those like moments to celebrate and boost their own confidence. Okay. And if you're using AI tools to build your review, you can have AI generate growth focused feedback for sample student work. Totally anonymous, of course, right? Ask ChatGPT by affirming, or for, not by, for affirming phrases that you can sprinkle into your lessons. Things like, this mistake is actually a great learning moment because, or here's how this is showing your growth mindset in action. Just calling a spade, calling it out and highlighting that for your students normalizes it in your classroom, makes it more okay, makes it a safe space to keep learning. And that's really important as we're wrapping up the end of the year, because we want our students to feel safe, comfortable, confident going into the final. Okay. The key here is that reinforcing math success isn't about getting it fast, it's about sticking with it and celebrating all the small wins. Now, let's talk about some language shifts you can use to help boost and build that confidence in the end of your school year here. So instead of saying, this is easy, and my girl Christy, easy is not allowed in her classroom. Okay. Just not allowed, because it might be quote unquote easy for you. But if somebody else hears that, that's going to hurt their mindset. Okay. If it's more of a challenge, that's going to hurt them. So instead of saying, this is easy, say, we're going to work through this step by step. Or something like that, okay? Instead of, you're so smart, you just get it, try saying, I love how you kept working at that until it made sense. Whether it made sense to them in 5 seconds, 35 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever it was. I love that you kept working until it made sense. And instead of saying like, ooh, actually you're wrong, try saying, oh, I see where you're going here. Let's figure out where it got tricky because we didn't get to the same answer. Okay. So these tiny changes help students feel safe to take risks and remind them that effort and persistence are what matter. And don't forget to model it for yourself, okay? I learned a new way to explain this to say, or even teachers make mistakes. We just keep going. Highlight those mistakes in your classroom, normalize it, even at the end of the school year. And don't forget about your mindset, my teacher friend. Reminder for you too, this time of the year is outrageously draining, and it is easy to focus on what didn't get done and what still feels messy. But I want you to take a moment to deep breathe and reflect with me. What's one thing you're proud of this year? And what's one way you have grown as an educator? Shout it out, share it out, tag me on Instagram, DM me, hit me up in the chat here. Let me know what is something you're proud of. Let's highlight your successes. I would love to highlight successes on the next time I go and record all of these podcast episodes. I want to share everything that teachers are proud of from the 2024-2025 school year. One way that you've grown as an educator this year, you, my friend, are making an impact, even if it doesn't always feel like that from day to day. So give yourself some grace and a growth mindset you want for your students, and give yourself a shout out so I can give you a shout out. All right, guys, here is your challenge for this week. Aside from giving yourself a shout out, I want you to pick one mindset activity to try this week, whether it's a reflection, a letter to future students, or tweaking your own language. Remember, you guys, this is small shifts, big impact. And don't forget, summer is almost here, but we are not done yet. Starting June 3rd, we are launching into our summer series, aka Poolside PD, which is bite sized episodes to help you refresh, recharge, and rethink your math class for next year. Make sure you're subscribed here on the podcast and on YouTube so you don't miss it. All right. Until next time, you guys, keep encouraging, keep growing, and as always, keep it real.